If you tell me you put it in the deep freezer.
Deep freezer.
Yeah, you know what we do in the buying bags.
Fila wa rasa.
Yeah. What a gas.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me? If you can hear me, please just show your likes. Okay, thank you. Welcome to our fifth FAC 1502 class. Can you just give me a few minutes? As always, I want you guys to give you an opportunity to ask questions. Just give me 5 minutes. I'm trying to sort out something just quickly before we can officially start with the class, and I can allow you to ask questions before we start with today's class. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for waiting a bit. And my name is, I don't know, let me put my camera so you can see I'm not speaking to an autopilot. Can you all see me? Yeah. Good afternoon, students, and welcome to our fifth class for FAC 1502. And first I would like to congratulate you for completing assessment 1. And I mean, we had distinctions. You did very well. Some struggled with assessment. However, don't give up. This is not the end. You will be able to make it. Just be patient with yourself. And please, failing the first assessment is not the end. You still have 3 more assessments that can change your game. So please work very hard on the next 3 assessment. Continue working like this, working hard, attending the classes and also following our instructions. We know that you can make it. Even the students that said they're doing accounting for the first time, believe me, they did better than we thought. This is the first one, and we understand and we know that most students are also first time coming to Unisa. So everything is new and they were a bit nervous. Some experienced technical issues. Unfortunately, because we had 2 attempts, we couldn't reopen. We are not allowed to reopen for the students for the 3rd time because this is done by the ICT and we need to stick to our assessment plan. Anything we need to do all the memos and everything. But however, I'm still happy with the submission rate. It was very good and the pass rate is like just above 50%, meaning we are starting at a good space compared to last year where we only had like 36% pass rate for the semester. So this year, I'm hoping the semester that I'm here, we started, we are new on the module, we'll try our best to make a change and support you students in this. So I'm gonna explain to you that assessment 2 will be the same format with assessment 1. So you will expect different kinds of questions, different types of assessment tools. MCQ, your true or false might be there embedded. So don't be scared. It's not invigilated again. Just make sure that you put aside. We'll try to do it between 2 hours or more. But please make sure that when you do the assessment, you are ready. You've got everything. And please do not wait until the last day. This assessment opens on the 2nd of April. 8 o'clock, and assessment 2 will close 9 April at 11. Please, let me tell you, we were getting more than 100 emails per hour in the last week. If, be honest, it's not easily manageable. It was difficult this week. So please, don't do it in the last minute because might not be able to get to your email because we are receiving lot of emails during the last week, and it's not practical for us to get to respond each and every query immediately. So some will be delayed because to get to 100, it will be very difficult. So I'm gonna give you 10 minutes to ask questions, your admin questions before my colleague will start with them discussing the adjustment. Please know that assessment is study unit 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, including study unit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you didn't perform well on the first 5 assessment, the first study units, kindly go back, revise them because we will incorporate those study units in the assessment too. So just revise a bit, go back to the recordings, go back to your notes, to the slides that we have shared with you. Then we will. Okay, I see I've got a lot of hands. I will allow hands as soon as I'm done. Please, and also we have noted there were students that were posting, we got screenshots, students posting their questions during the assessment in the Telegram's WhatsApp group, asking friends to help them. That is plagiarism, and we will definitely penalize you if we find you. And we might report you to management, to our disciplinary office, so that they can deal with you. So I've opened the mics, but please mute your mics. I'm still speaking. I will allow everyone to speak as soon as I'm done. So as I said, assessment 2 includes a study unit 1 until 10. Revise, don't panic. We will have shared recordings for the other study units that we are not going to discuss in detail because we have previous videos which are very clear. However, if you have any questions related to those study units that we are not discussing in the class, kindly post those queries in your group sites. Everyone has been allocated an e-tutor. Avoid sending emails to us because now when you send, you are over 16,000. So if we receive 1,000 emails, we might not get to your email on time before assessment 2. Kindly make use of the e-tutors. Post all your queries, admin, module content, you want them to check your attempts and all that, they should be able to respond to you within 48 hours. If they do not give you feedback, you email us immediately and we will take it up with their coordinator, because they've been paid to support you, to be an extra helping hand in this journey. Because as you know, we are only 3 lecturers with 16,000 students. We still need to do assessments. We still have to do research. We still have to fix the study materials. We need to prepare for second semester. We need to deal with all the other administrative. So hence, we might not respond to you immediately. Make use of your e-tutors for your content admin questions. They know all the answers. They've got access to us privately. So if there's anything they don't know, they will let me and my colleagues know, and we will kindly assist. And please also make sure that when you send an email, send it to FAC1502 at Unisa. .ac.za. Don't email it to us directly, because, for instance, I am on leave for the next almost 2 weeks. So I might not be able to respond to you. However, if you send your emails to FAC1502 at unisa.ac.za, my colleagues will be able to attend to your queries, because they are working, they are not on leave. So avoid sending us private emails, so for you to be able to get a quick response and assistance, instead of waiting for one lecturer to come back to you after a week. So I'm taking hands, and please make them short before we start with we'll be discussing the adjustments today. And we also have another class on Monday, Monday 25? 8 from 6 to 8. Then we've got another one which is on Monday. We'll be discussing only the bank record. So revise your study unit 8. Then on Tuesday 25th, we'll be discussing is the second part of adjustments, where we'll be doing a detailed long questions for you to be able to understand how you're going to tackle this in your assessment. So now I'm going to first take Pilar. You can ask your question. You can unmute yourself.
Sawubona, ma'am, unjani?
Oh, we good, thanks, and you?
Ma'am, my question is, Lama tutor, is it possible if we can ask Uti, we can do face-to-face, like have classes like that we can attend or anything like that?
We're not supposed to be face-to-face tutors. I know in Western Cape, there are people who have been contracted, but however, those classes haven't started, and I don't understand why. We have been following up with them. However, we can ask some of our tutors if they are willing to make use of our facilities to do some of these classes, and we'll talk to their coordinator and we'll get back to you. But I don't promise anything. They're supposed to be doing it, the regions. We as lecturers, we don't have control over that, unfortunately. If we had control, we could have done even today face-to-face, but you know, we are under other people, and there's people doing other things, so we can't. But we will definitely follow up with the regions when they're going to start with their face-to-face classes. But don't wait for that. Our assessments are not going to be extended. Thank you, Pilar. Are you happy?
Ngiyabonga, ma'am. Yeah, ngiyabonga, ma'am.
You're welcome. Ian, you can unmute. Ian Baker. Okay, while we're still waiting, Adele.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, Mr. Baker.
I'm all right. I'm asking about the question. I've got questions. That question I have is I've got finalized registered on Thursday last weekend and find out that my first assessment was the due date was on Tuesday. So I had to be quick and fast, and I didn't know that I will get the second chance. I mean the extension time to submit. So I had to be quick and revise and all do the stuff from the module that I have. So fair enough, I didn't manage to get my marks well. So which means when I check my status, it says the attempts not recognized or what. I forgot that it says attempts not what. So the question is, it will not affect my marks during the course of the module or what? Because I already failed the first assessment.
He said, for the issues of finalizing your late registration, we have sent an emails yesterday. Please check your emails, your My Life email. And if you didn't get it, send us an email on FAC. Please, on the title of the subject of the email, indicate to say I was registered on this day and I couldn't do it 1, 2, 3 on the subject as well, so that we can see, because we have like, yeah, a lot of emails. So just put it there.
Sorry,
Then-
let me just, sorry for a moment. I did receive an email yesterday, but I already submitted my assignment with the 2 attempts and I already failed. So I don't know what to do right now.
Yeah, just send me an email. We'll ask our management. Just send me an email, because I mean, if you were registered only on the 15th and you didn't have access to the module site, it will really be unfair to you just to fail like that. So send us an email and we will escalate the issue to our chair of the department and see what they can do, because this assessment is going to affect your final year mark. So yes, you can still pass even if you didn't do well, but it's going to affect your mark because there's no elective for assessment one.
Okay.
So
Thank
Ian
you.
Baker, just send that. I'm on leave, so my colleagues might be able to respond between tomorrow and Monday. But send it.
I sent the email to what?
FAC, the same. Respond to that email I sent you yesterday.
All right,
Respond
okay,
to
I'll
that
do-
email. Respond on that one. It's easier that way. Then I know what's the story.
Okay, no problem.
You're welcome and all the best. And please make use of the recordings for the first 5 study units, revise so that you can be able to catch up. And sorry for that inconvenience. We don't have control as lecturers over the late registrations. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Adele. Adele, yes, you're welcome. You can speak, Adele. Adele, okay. Okay, in absence of Adele, can F Chokwe? Chokwe?
Are
Okay.
you able to hear me? Are you
Yes,
able
yes,
to hear
yes.
me?
Yes, ma'am, we
Okay.
can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to ask something. I'm one of the a new student with Unisa. So when with FAC 1502, I was receiving message actually to say join the class, but the first message that I received, I actually ask a first year student, that email FYE, to say, is this the right email? Because is it from
Yes.
Unisa? Because they're wanting 150 and everything. So I was unable to differentiate the message. So to say, which message do I know? This one is from maybe a scam. This one is from Unisa. For that, I even missed 2 classes because I thought it was a scam. I didn't know how to differentiate 2 messages to say this is the class to join and all that.
Okay, so to differentiate between the lecturers and the scammers or other people, kindly verify by going to my Unisa or in the announcement on the module. Because whatever we're going to send out in the public, we first put it under announcements before the other students can start copying, because we have asked students to copy it, our messages to Telegram. Those are in Telegram, those are in WhatsApp group, they share it there. But however, all our messages and the links for the classes, we put them under my Unisa announcements. And we don't charge anyone extra money for anything. Even if you make an appointment with us or the e-tutors, you don't have to pay anything. Unisa is paying us. Those people are scams. My issue with them as well, they will give you the same answers with thousands other students and you fail the module because we'll flag you as plagiarized, and Unisa can suspend you for 5 years. So I'm happy that you are vigilant, and sorry for missing our classes, but the classes already are on our the YouTube channel. We have created the YouTube channel and we are busy adding new recordings almost every second day for all the study units as we go. So please look at that. Thank you. Are you happy?
Okay. Yes, but lastly, I wanted to know how to get in contact with other students. The WhatsApp, where do I get it and everything to join? Because when I was struggling, not knowing what is this, I didn't even know how to access even a single student.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put something here. We've got the class. We have created a class on Teams that we one of our e-tutors will be leading, and also we've got few e-tutors. I will share. They're going to create the WhatsApp group that they will manage, because we need to manage it so that you guys don't get misled and be scammed. But to join those ones. So I will share all these details during the course of the week. But I know one tutor said she will start a
Okay.
group. She won't join existing ones because those ones are created by these third parties who are selling answers to our students and tarnishing the reputation of our university. Because I know even the telegrams, there's only one that we know, the Telegram group. I will also check it and share with you that we know that our tutors might also join. It's more reputable compared to the ones that I've heard about. I will also share it on the group, on the chat now. So I've shared is a long messages, but I have included all the links, our YouTube channel, our class channel, and the links to the next 2 classes, including this one. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm trying to multitask. Can we go to Safia Patel? We are running out of time.
Hi there. Sorry for the delay.
Hi.
Just a quick question with regards to the e-tutors. I've been added to a group and it is showing on my Unisa as an added, where the modules are, but there's nothing happening there. There's no place for me to ask questions or anything. I have been given a name for a tutor, but even that the tutor hasn't posted there. So are we
What
still
is the
waiting for
group
some?
number? No, I don't know what they're waiting for. Just put
14E.
it.
The group number is
Let me write it.
14E.
14E. I will check it because that is they will get paid this month, so they need to be working. I will
Yes,
check
yeah,
it.
that page there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there.
We'll deal with it.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for bringing that to our attention.
Okay
Sorry
then.
for that.
No problem.
Thank you. And the next person is, before we close, okay, we've got Glory. Glory.
Hello,
Glory.
can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes, we can hear you.
I heard you saying that on Monday we have a class from 6 to 8. However, some of us are attending quantitative modeling like every Mondays and Wednesdays from that time. So like I don't know if maybe the university don't communicate these things, and how will we be able to attend if there's clashes when it comes to that? And
Yeah,
also the second.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
speak.
Yes, also the
Yeah, no,
second
what?
thing, you said
Yes.
you posted something, but then there are no chats open. So I don't know, where did you post it? Did you post it on my Unisa?
Yeah. No, I just
Okay.
posted here on the group. Yeah. Can you see anyone who can see? Because I
The
can see
chats.
students have been the chat here on this meeting. I can see students posting stuff, asking questions here. I don't know.
My chats are closed because I can't see any chats.
I don't know anyone who can see.
Sorry, are you
No.
talking about a chat for now?
Can you see
No.
the chats?
No.
Okay,
No
let me
chats.
just.
Yes, I
see
can
it
see the
too.
chats on my side.
I can't
I can
see.
see on my side.
Yeah, you should be able to see the chats because I've opened them. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try logging out and logging in again. Maybe can you answer like my first question? Thank you. And also, can
Okay.
you also post it on my Unisa just in case I can't access the chats? Thank you.
Okay, the link, no, it's already there. All the links are already in my Unisa. I'm just putting them here again. Everything that I'm posting here is already in my Unisa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the first question, yeah, no, we don't have control over what the other modules are doing, and definitely they don't communicate with each other, and we are only responsible for our module. So unfortunately, you will have to choose which module to attend, which class, and the others, we will share the recordings of the classes. Unfortunately, we can't solve that from our side. Yeah. Then the next question, I think the next one is Mashitwa. I don't know if it's the same name or name. Mashitwa?
Hi, Miss Caesar. I
Yes.
just want to ask something. Can you confirm whether the next class will be on the 25 or the 26? Because I'm
We've got two classes, 25 and 26. If you check on the post that I've made, I had 25 and 26. So on the 25th, we discussed the bank recons that unit 8. And then on the 26th is the second part of the adjustments. We're going to discuss the question. So 25 is bank recon, 26 is the adjustment.
Okay, so did you send all the links on the chat?
Yes, but they're already on your my Unisa under announcements.
Oh, okay, I'll just check. Okay.
Okay, please guys, check my Unisa every 24 hours so that you keep track of what is happening. Just go to announcements, check it quickly before the end of each and every day. So yeah, so thank you. Keep putting all those group sites that are not active so that after the class we can contact the coordinator and let them know that they must stop their payment if they're not waiting. Sinetemba. So
Thank you for
yes,
giving me
quickly.
a mic.
Yes,
Yes,
I'm
hello?
gonna close. Yes, you can speak.
Oh, yes. Actually, I just recently registered. I registered last week. So some questions that I was having, they already answered. But now I just want to maybe to give me some few clarity Nyana, here. I just want to know, is there any prescribed textbook that we can make use of? And do we have another means of communication? Because I take time to check my emails. So if maybe we can maybe using like Telegram or WhatsApp, if there are such links. And also, I just want to know, how do I have an access to e-tutors and stuff? Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I hope you got our email last night regarding the late registration. E-tutors, everyone has been allocated to an e-tutor. If not, kindly send us an email, and then on your subject, write no, not allocated to e-tutor group, so we can forward it to the coordinator that is responsible for the allocation. The other one, we don't have currently, I'm still waiting for my tutor, e-tutor one, e-tutor who's going to open us for us in a WhatsApp group for this, which we can only be responsible for. The other ones, we are not there. If they scam you, they do anything, we are not responsible. So the one that I will share it under the announcements. However, you can join our Teams class, because I will also put it in our Teams class FAC. You can see the link on the chat. FAC Teams class, you can put it there. You can also post your questions under the Teams. There will be one e-tutor will be responsible to also deal with your questions there if my Unisa is done. But however, the better way to deal for ease of quick responses is to post it under your e-tutor sites if they are active. If they are not, send us an email so we can deal with that. We will assist you in the absence of any assistance from the e-tutors. However, when you send us an email, first I will ask you a question. Did you post this in my Unisa to get help from your e-tutor? If not, we won't be able to assist you. If yes, you will tell us, yes, I have posted, give us the screenshot. When you send an email, I posted this 2 days ago, no response, so that I can see the date and have evidence before, so that I can also forward it to the coordinator who's responsible for paying those e-tutors to deal with them for non-performance. But we will assist you in the same time. Happy? There's no prescribed textbook for this module. This module is a very basic module. We don't expect you to buy any book. Make use of the videos that we have shared on our YouTube channel. Also, you can check the other YouTube channels. There's YouTube, because I know if you haven't done accounting in high school, doing that grade 8 or grade 9 counting or grade 10 accounting, watching those videos, they're very helpful in also explaining some of the concepts in layman terms, easier way. But we also try to do the same with our videos. You can make use of the EIs, make use of ChatGPT. If you don't understand the concept, don't waste money, buy your data, have the data and post it that says, what is accrued expense? ChatGPT and the other AI tools, they will give you the answer. Just don't copy during the assessment. It will take up your time and you won't have enough time to answer our questions. We know the answers. What we did before we open the assessment, we check what all the AI tools will give you as the answer. And then if your answer is like that, and we see what the other similarities which are not understandable, we will definitely flag you as plagiarism and check your assessment thoroughly. But so far, our students are doing well. Thank you, Simon. I'm closing. I'm giving you 3 minutes. Yes, Simon? Okay, Simon, you're still struggling. Lina, you can ask your questions before I close, and I can give Mr. Mkokone an opportunity because we still have a lot to do for today. Lina, Chabalala. Deboho, quickly. Then Dennis, you are the last one. Deboho.
Hi.
Good day.
Sorry, just a quick Teams question. I still can't find the chats. I'm also still struggling. I've tested, I've gone in and out. The chats aren't open with me. Can anybody else assist me? How they open theirs?
Yeah, because I can see the students are posting from my side. I can see Homut has been posting, Nosiza, and then even before I started posting mine, we've got a couple of students posting. I don't know. Can you, if you
Yes,
can,
ma'am. She's not alone
If I
because
may
I've
just,
gone in and gone out as well, and I haven't been able
okay,
to
Putla, you have a
get
solution?
see the chat.
Same here.
For me, I've also gone in and got out. My chats are not open.
Okay,
Same
I
here.
will
Same
check
here.
again. Okay, I will
if,
deal with it as we start. Okay, thanks. Okay, we are.
if I may just,
I'm
sorry to
closing.
interrupt. I think it could possibly be an organizational issue because I'm looking at mine and it says a lot of the people in the chat are from outside the organization. So if you're using your work teams, that could possibly be one of the reasons why we're not seeing it.
Yeah, because this is the first time since we started with our classes, having people struggling to post on the chats. Because when I'm checking, everything seems fine on our settings like we did with everyone. So I will continue checking and see if I can make some calls, but today's holiday. Our ICT might not be working, but we'll try and see how we can assist you. So I'm going to disable all the mics and we'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions which are not related to adjustments after the class. All the best and make use of this class, ask questions, and I hope you are prepared for the class. So I'm
Thank you.
closing all the mics so that we can avoid hearing very strong languages like we did the other time. Mr. Hoponi, the floor is yours. I'm gonna close and I will be checking on the chairs. Please put all the E2 groups, which we still have issues with. There's no activity. And as Mr. Hoponi is doing that, I will also be calling the coordinator to show him that these people, they should stop their payments. They haven't been working for the whole month. I mean, you guys are paying for your fees It doesn't matter who's paying for you, but you are paying students and they need to give you a service that they are paid for. Thank you. Mr. Mkokoli, you are good to go.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to this is our 6th class of this semester. Today class, we are going to cover adjustment. And this is going to be part 1 of 1 because today we are only going to discuss the principles and also do the small examples. And part 2 of 2, which is next week on Tuesday, 26 March from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. That class will cover a big question. Let me share my slide for today's class. Let me stop sharing and share again. Do you all see my slides?
Yes, I can see. Can you just show with your slides? Yes. Yes, they can see your slides. You can continue.
Yes, on the first slide is
So, Mr. Joseph, before you start, is Mr. Marisa in the class? Is he in the class? Have you, Mr. Mkokoli, before? Because I want to do some emails.
He said he will join, I'm not sure.
Okay, seems like he's not here, so I will be on standby. Thank you. You can continue.
Yeah, the first slide is year end of adjustment. And as I told you, this is the first class of the 2. And then this is your lecturers. The first one is me, Mr. Mutlatlana Mukhokoni. And the second one, it was Miss Msiza Clara. And the third is Mr. Pumulo Maraisan. And this is our email address. As Miss Msiza said, don't send the email to individual lecturers. Send to this email address, FAC1502@unisa.ac.za, or you can call us. Our contact details are in tutorial letter 101. This is the purpose of today's lecture, is to learn about adjustment and when do we perform adjustment. Why do we perform adjustment? Types of trial balance that are prepared at year end, and also types of year end adjustment. And class exercise regarding year adjustment will be next week on Tuesday. Part two of 2 will discuss class exercise. Today we are going to discuss small examples with the principles. Then the first slide says adjustments and when do we perform adjustments. Adjustments are performed at the end of the financial period. The purpose is to prepare financial statement at the end of the period. On this slide, maybe we are saying we perform this adjustment in order to comply with the accrual principles that we are following in accounting. With accrual principle says record the transaction when the transaction happens, not only when you received cash or make payment. For example, maybe the business sold trading inventory on credit. Immediately on that day, the business must record the transaction. That's what I'm saying. The business must record the transaction when the transaction happens, according to the accrual principles. And the second transaction, this slide, we're asking ourselves, why do we do adjustment? We do adjustments to ensure that all current financial period accounts have correct balances before final accounts and financial statement can be prepared. And also the second, on all transaction income and expenses that should have been recorded in the current financial period have been recorded, even if no income has been received or no expenses has been paid in the current financial period. That one is our accrual principles. And lastly, it says all recorded transaction income and expenses that do not belong to the current financial period are subtracted from expenses or income and are classified either assets or liabilities. This is types of our trial balance that the business must prepare. The first one is pre-adjustment trial balance. This one is before you consider our year-end adjustment, and the post-adjustment trial balance is after the business considered the year-end adjustment, and the last one is post-closing trial balance. That one is after considering our closing journal entries. The first type of our adjustment is prepaid expenses. It's saying refers to an expense which has been paid during the current period, but which relates to a future financial period. Here, this one is expenses paid in advance. For these expenses paid by the business during the current financial period, but relates to the next financial period. That's why we call them expenses paid in advance. That's why they are saying prepaid expenses, it is an asset. We classify this prepaid expense as an asset because remember these expenses should always be subtracted from the expenses account. Why are we subtracting them from our expenses account? Because it does not form part of our expenses during the current financial period. Therefore, we need to subtract these prepaid expenses from our expenses account. Let's do this small example. They are saying class example of prepaid expenses. It says on 2nd January 20.1, Kaka Dealers, this is our name, this name of our business, paid a new annual insurance premium of 2,400. Current financial year ends on 28 February 20.1. When you do this type of question, adjustment question, first you must determine start period of your current financial period and year end of your financial period. Here we are given year end, which is 28 February 20.1. Then you must go back 12 months to determine beginning of your current financial period. If we go back from 28 Feb 20.1, go back 12 months, then our start period of our financial period will be 1 March 20.0. If you count from 1 March 20.0 to 28 February 20.12, it will give you 12 months. Required number A, indicate in which subsidiary journal of Kaka Dealers will the transaction be recorded on the date the transaction took place. Remember on the last class, last study unit, we discussed subsidiary journals, which they are how many? There are 6. Is cash journals, which is cash receipts and cash payments journal. There are also credit journals, which is sales journals, sales returns journals, purchases journals, and purchases returns journal. And the last one was general journal. Here we are asking you to tell us which subsidiary journal will this transaction be recorded on the date the transaction took place. Remember, the transaction took place on the 2nd of January 20.1. On required B, we said indicate which account to be debited and credited on the day the transaction took place and the amount. Here you must tell us which transaction you debit, which transaction you credit, and also you mention the amount. And transaction number C, required number C is saying, does the amount paid only relate to the current financial period, which is ending 28 February 20.1? Here, if your answer on required number D, if your answer is no, please indicate which amount belong to the current financial period, 28 February 20.1, and which one belong to the next financial period, which is ending 28 February 20.2. And the last required, which is required number E, saying prepare the adjusting journal entry at the end of the current financial period, which is 28 February 20.1. Let's move to here, because here our financial period start on 1 March 20.0 and ending 28 February 20.1. Here to calculate your prepaid expenses, you take the 2,400 because we say this is a annual. Annual is for 12 months. Then you take your 2,400, you divide by 12, then you get the monthly insurance premium. 2,400 divided by 12, your monthly insurance premium is 200 per month. The business is paying insurance premium amounted to 200 per month. Then if you say they paid from our current, they paid from when? To January. If you count from January, February, they paid 2 months during the current financial period. That means if you say 200 times 2, it will give you 400. That means 2,000, it will be our expenses prepaid, because we said expenses prepaid, it's expenses which has been paid during the current financial period, but relates to a future financial period. 2,000 relates to a future financial period, and 200 relates to the current financial period, which is ending 28 February 20.1, and 2,000 relate to the current financial period, which is ending 28 February 20.2. Let me go to solution. Here is the first required. We said the first required you to indicate which subsidiary journal the transaction will be recorded on the day the transaction took place. Remember, the transaction took place on the 2nd of January 20.1. 20.1, and that's why we said it will be recorded under cash payments journals. Why cash payments journals? Because under cash payments journals, we recorded all cash paid out by the business. Here, the business paid insurance premium. That's why we are saying this transaction, it will affect our cash payments journal on 2nd January. And the day you put on the day column, you put the date the transaction took place. The transaction took place on the 2nd of January. Under details, here we are paying insurance. That's why we put insurance. You can put insurance name. maybe you are paying Insurance Ltd, under details we'll put Insurance Ltd as an example. Then under bank, you put the whole amount because we paid how much? We paid 2,400. Then if there is no column for insurance, like on this small example, there is no column for insurance. That's why our amount are recorded under sundry accounts. Then the total amount we recorded under amount and details. We record insurance premium under details because we paid for insurance premium. Sorry. Here we are done. Then required number B indicate. Let's see whether I can use this. Required number B is saying, sorry, I'm on D. Required number B is saying it indicate which account to be debited and which account to be credited on the day the transaction took place. Remember on the first, I remember it was the first class where we discussed how to analyze a transaction using four steps. I don't remember whether you attended the class where first you must identify two accounts involved. And the second one, you must tell us, did the accounts form part of assets, equity, liabilities, income, or expenses? And the third one, did the assets, equity, liabilities, income, or expenses increases or decreases? And the third one, you identify which accounts to be debited and which account to be credited. This is the step you must follow when you analyze a transaction. Here, because the business paid, that means our bank account, which is an asset, decreases because money goes out of the business. Because remember, assets, bank is an asset, and assets increases on the debit side and reduces on the credit side. Here we are saying the business, here we are saying the money goes out of the business. That's why our assets, that's why we credited our bank, which is an asset with 2,400, because money goes out of the business and our assets, which is bank, decreases by 2,400. And the other account we said is insurance, which is an expense. And we said expense increases on the debit side and decreases on the credit side. Here our expenses, here the expenses of the business increases by the amount we paid to insurers Ltd, for example, the name. That's why we debited our expenses increases by 2,400. That's why we debited our expenses by 2,400 and we credited our bank account by 2,400 because the money goes out of our business bank account. Required number C says that the amount paid only relate to the current financial period. Answer to required number C is no. Only 200 relate to the current financial period. Remember, the current financial period, as I told you, started from 1 March 20.0 and ending 28 February 20.1. And we started paying when? We started paying on the 2nd of January 20.1. If you say January 20.1 and February 28 February 20.1, it will give you 2 months. Then you say 12,400 because 12,000 is annual, is for the whole 12 months. Then you say 12,400 divided by 12. Then you'll get your monthly insurance premium, which is 200. Then we said only 200 relate to the current financial period. If you see here, this is our financial period. Then the 200 times 2. 200 times 2 for 2 months, then 400 will relate to the current financial period. And the next financial period, which is our prepaid expenses, it will be from, if you count from January to December, it will be 12 months because they are saying this is annual. Annual means 12 months, and they paid from when? 20 January 20.1. If you count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is for 12 months. Annual is 12 months. And this will form part of our current assets, which is prepaid expense, which is 2,000. Because from 1 March 20.1 to 28 February 20.2, it will be our next financial period. Then required number D, we said if no, please indicate which amount belong to the current financial period, 28 February 20.1, and which amount belong to the next financial period, which is ending 28 February 20.2. We already trust this. The current financial period is 400. 200 times 2 belongs to the current financial period. And the next financial period, it will be 200 times 10 from March to December. From March to December is 10 months. That's why we say 200 times 10, it will give you 2,000, which will form part of our prepaid expenses. Here we are saying prepare adjusting journal entry at the end of the current financial period. Here you prepare adjusting journal entries. Here we set our expenses, because remember 2,000 belongs to the next financial period. That's why we reduced our expenses by 2,000, because we set expenses increases on the debit side and reduces on the credit side. There we reduces our expenses. That's why we credited our expenses by 2,000. And we said prepaid expenses and assets. And we said assets increases on the debit side and reduces on the credit side. There we increases our assets by 2,000 by debiting our prepaid expenses. This is our general ledger account, T account, and on the debit side and the credit side. And this is insurance expenses, general ledger account. And I said expenses increases on the debit side and expenses reduces on the credit side. Here we increases our expenses by, here we put the date the transaction took place. Here is bank. Hello? Yes?
Okay, I will answer this one. Can you pause a bit so there's one question before we leave someone behind? Thank you.
Yes, fine.
They were asking about the insurance. So once you are done with this section, can we just take questions?
Yeah, let me finish this. That's what. Yeah, let me finish this expense prepaid. We'll take question after this. Expense prepaid. Here, this is our general ledger account of insurance expenses. And we said we said expenses increases on the debit side. If we put something on the debit side of expenses account, that means we increase our expenses account. If we put something on the credit side of our expenses account, that means we reduces or decreases our expenses account. On the debit side, we put 2,400 because our expenses increases by the amount we paid, annual insurance premium of 2,400. Under the date the transaction took place when? On the 2nd of June. And under details is the contra account. Remember, we debited. Remember, there are two. We debited insurance and we credited bank. The other transaction involved is bank. That's why under details we put bank. Folio where this transaction comes from. Where This comes from our cash payments journal. The total amount is 2,400. Then here is the end of the current financial period, which is 28 Feb 20.1. Here we are closing the insurance expenses account, and on the credit side, under details, we put prepaid expenses. Remember, prepaid expenses was 2,000 from March to December, 10 months, 200 times 10, 2,000. And we closed this account in our profit and loss account, which is 400. And according to double entry system, debit side and credit side must equal after each transaction. That's why you see our debit side is 2,400 and our credit side is 2,400. We satisfied our double entry system, which says after each transaction, debit side must equals to credit side. This is our T account of prepaid expenses, which is an asset. And we said asset increases on the debit side and assets decreases on the credit side. This is the date. This is our end of our financial period. This is our details. It's insurance premium. It comes from general journal, and the total amount is 2,000. Here is our statement of disclosing insurance expense and prepaid expenses in our financial statement. The first one was statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, which was called previously, this statement was called income statement. Now it's called statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the year ended 28 February 20.1, our year end. The total, remember, the total insurance expenses paid was 2,400, but the 2,000 belongs to the next financial period, because I said prepaid expense is an expenses which has been paid during the current financial period, but other amounts relates to the next financial period. 2,000 relates to the next financial period, but is paid during the current financial period. And I said this expenses relate to the next financial period must be subtracted from our expenses account when we are doing statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. That's why I subtracted 2,000 here, because it relates to the next financial period. That's why our total expenses in our statement of profit and loss will be 400. This is our balance sheet. Now it's called statement of financial position for the year ended 20.1. And I said prepaid expense is a current asset. That's why we put it under current asset. That's why we put 2,000 under current asset as prepaid expenses. I don't know what's wrong. Yeah, let's take questions for now for the first adjustment, which was prepaid expenses.
Okay, I'm opening the mics. Let me just go to. So you can start raising your hands and I will take you based on the sequence. Now it's open. And we'll start with Homut. You can unmute.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, well, sir, can you please go back and explain the previous slide, the one before this one? Is it insurance expense? Can you explain the debit side and the credit side? I understand the credit side, the debit side, but I don't understand the credit side.
Here we are on the credit side. We are, the transaction took place here on the 2nd of January 20.1. Here, this is our year end. Then we are closing this insurance expenses account. And remember, on the first transaction, on the first one, wait, on the first journal, is this one, not this one. This one, you see this one, we credited insurance by 2,000 and we debited our prepaid expenses by 2,000. That means when you do your T account, that means you close off insurance general ledger account with the prepaid expenses on the credit side of 2,000 because we credited our insurance expenses with prepaid expenses of 2,000. That's why on our T account and also remember, prepaid expenses is a current asset. And I said this prepaid expenses will be subtracted from our expenses account when doing our general ledger account or our statement of profit or loss, because the 2,000 will form part of our current asset. That's why it reduces. That's why it goes on the credit side by 2,000.
Okay.
And the difference is profit and loss, which is 100.
Oh, okay. But can you also explain why on the previous slide, the one before this one, why our expenses is accredited, aren't in expenses being debited on the debit side, increase on the debit side?
This one, you mean this slide?
Yes, aren't expenses supposed to increase on the debit side?
Expenses?
Yes, I don't know, I'm asking.
Expenses increases on the debit side and reduces on the credit side. You are right, expenses must increase. Remember, this is our adjusting journal entry. We adjust 2,000, we adjust only our 2,000, which is our prepaid expenses. That's why we called adjusting journal entry. And this is the normal journal entry, the first one. You see here, our expenses increases by 2,400.
Yes, I understand.
Can someone switch the... Are you happy?
So, sir.
Yeah, Komodo?
I wanted to go to the one I was asking about. Like this one, I understand. B, I understand. C, I understand.
This one?
Yeah, this one is the one that's giving me a problem. I understand the prepaid expense. I do understand that it's an asset, right? Because we paid in future and whatnot. But the one that I don't understand is the insurance expense. Are we closing it off? Because initially it's supposed to be on the debit side. When you take it to the credit side, are we closing it off and saying ding or piece of expense?
Is this 2,000 increases our expenses or reduces our expenses? If maybe we are given 10,000 as an example, and we have this 2,000, when we are doing our statement of profit and loss, we'll say 10,000 minus 2,000, then it will give us 8,000. Because this 2,000 belongs to the next financial period, and it's not an expenses during this current financial period. This current financial period, this 2,000 is prepaid expense.
Yeah.
That's why we reduce our expenses are overstated by 2,000. That's why we reduce our expenses by 2,000 to go to the correct amount of 400. Because our expenses must be 400, not 2,400. That's why we are saying our expenses are overstated by 2,000. That's why we credited our expenses by 2,000.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
No, thank you. The next question. Miss Clara? Hello? Caesar?
We have Botina. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Botina. Then, okay, while we're waiting, Linda. Okay, Nkandla.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes,
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I would like to go back to question C, please.
C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is our answer for C 200 instead of 400? Or am I not understanding the question?
Yeah, it's fine. Remember, this transaction took place when 2nd January 20.1, and our financial year end period is 20.1 February. And this, they are saying this is annual. Remember, annual is for 12 months, and they paid how much? 2,400. If you say 2,400 divided by 12, it will give you 2,400 divided by 12, it will give you 200. That means the business paid 200 monthly insurance premium. Then, but here for the current financial period, they paid for 2 months. If you say 200 times 2, it will give you 400. This 200 is the monthly annual monthly insurance premium. Sorry, monthly insurance premium.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think I understand now. So C is basically a yes or no question. It's not really.
Yeah, C. Does the amount paid to relate to? Course, this answer is here. Agree. We are saying if your answer here we showed you we showed you here we showed you that the 200 is the monthly insurance premium. And if you go to the next one, the current financial period is 400, is from Jan, is these 2 months, Jan and Feb. And the next 10 months is our prepaid expenses, which is relates to the next financial period.
Okay, I understand.
That's why 400 will form part of your expenses in the statement of profit and loss, and the 2,000 will form part of your current assets under statement of financial position.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Hello.
Okay, we'll now take. But are you back? Can you ask quickly
Yes,
so we
ma'am,
can
I'm
stop
back.
it? Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask the question that Kumutu asked, but I understand now. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Linda. You can get in quick.
Hello, how are you? Hi, how are you? Come again?
I'm okay. I wanted to say the story. I'm okay now.
Oh, you understand. Okay, thank you, Linda. Can we get Rochelle? Rochelle? While waiting for Rochelle Nkume, Q Nkume, or Rochelle is here. You can ask quickly your question. Time is running out.
Hi, thank you. Hi, sir. So this example is very clear and I understand it. I would like to know if you have more that we can practice on. I know we have a few in our study material, but I'm someone who needs a lot of repetition. So if you have any more examples that we can practice, please post them or let us know where we can find them.
You mean the small examples or the big examples? Because the big examples are under e-tutor
the
questions.
small examples.
Oh, the small ones. I'll
Yes.
check under our study unit 6, then I will send something. But I'll check under our study unit 6 first, whether we have small examples.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay, the last, let me see, I will take until Ian. So now we've got Kyungume. Okay, well, she's still Caesar. You can come in quickly.
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
With good thanks and yourself. You can
I'm
continue.
good, ma'am. I'm good, ma'am. Ma'am, can I ask, ma'am? When you deal with a prepaid expense, you only focus for the 12 months period.
For what?
So for the 12 months period.
Yes, because remember all transaction must be 12 months because the financial period always is equals to 12 months. It can
Yes.
start from 1 Jan and end 31st December. Then after this financial period, the amount paid after, the expenses paid after, it will be regarded as prepaid expenses because it will be expenses related to the current financial period, related to the next financial period, not to the current financial period.
Which means for this 2,400 is for which means there's another 2,000 for the next financial period.
Yes, that's what
So
we
you
call
need to
this.
so you need to deduct for the 2 months on that 2,400.
You need to deduct 2,000 because 2,000 does not belong to the current financial period.
Okay, thank you. Now I get it, because I have a little bit of confusion on this. Yes, but now it's clear. Now I'll see.
Remember, prepaid expenses should always be subtracted from your expenses account when you are doing statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. If you see prepaid expenses, you must subtract it from your expenses account when you are doing statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income.
Okay, thank you so much.
You don't add it. If you add it, you will be overstating your expenses.
Okay. Now I'll get my things.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
So quickly, is it Glory, Tabang, Teboho, and Ian after? Glory, quickly. We are running out
Okay.
of time.
I had a question. I had a question on the chat, but I think as you've been explaining, I now got an idea. And also, so which means based on this one, it's like when you're paying your levies prior, then when they take it via the sorry, it's raining here. When they take it via the like the current financial year or the next financial year, if I paid my levies, if I put more money on my levies, which means it will be credited to me in case I would want to claim it back. I don't know if I'm making sense. Is
Yeah,
that
you're correct,
which means
yeah.
it's my money, it's not theirs. So
that's why you can request that money to send. You can request that
send
money
back.
back. Yeah, they must send.
Oh, that's why it's not in that financial year. That's why it's finances paid prior.
Yeah, you paid for this year, but you are paying for you paid the expenses during the current financial period, but the other amounts belong to the next financial period. That's why you can request that money back if you want.
Thank you so much. Okay, yes, thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you, Tabang.
Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I hear you.
Right. Quickly, 2 questions. My first question is with regards to the information given in terms of the statement. They say dealers paid a new annual insurance premium. That statement alone is a bit confusing for me because this is done at the end of the financial period, which is like almost at the end of the financial period is the 2nd of January. And our financial period ends at 28. And then when they say new annual insurance, it sounds like it's something that is going to be made for this coming period of the financial year. So that's one confusion that I had. What's with the new? The main question is about the new, because the new, then it talks about something different than what we are talking about. Once you calculate it, then you are calculating prior already. You are calculating that we already paid our dues for up until this point. That's when we are paying an extra, right? I don't know if I'm making sense on that.
Yeah, you're making sense. Yeah, you're making sense. Your point is noted. Maybe we'll update the question and remove the new. Maybe it's confusing. Yeah, your point is noted.
And then my second question is when you were showcasing how to execute the question in terms of the adjustment entry and I think you skipped the closing transfer. So I just wanted to understand when we do the adjustment, is the general of the adjustment entry that we need to disclose, and then go directly into the general ledger, or we still need to do the second step, which is the closing of the transfer, which speaks of the profit or loss of an account and whatnot, and the insurance.
I don't remember those steps by head. Remember the transaction, is the transaction what? Transaction cycle.
Yes, like isn't it initially as you adjust, it's when you put the prepaid on the general, it's the prepaid expenses as well as the insurance, which are the affected accounts, I believe. And the prepaid expense is debited because of course it's sort of an asset, so it increases the assets. And then the insurance, because it becomes a sort of because we need to balance the two, the insurance and the prepaid expense. It's the adjustment of the insurance account. And then the next step, I don't know, because I feel like if we skip the closing transfer, it becomes confusing when you have to derive the 400 of the profit or loss account, because when you show it into the general ledger, you're going to show it into the credit side of the general ledger of the insurance. So once you display it on the credit side, but then you don't know from which debit side it comes from, it's a bit confusing there. So I just wanted to understand if it's possible the way you did it, like we can skip that part of the closing of the transfer from insurance to profit or loss, as stated on. By the way, I'm just reading this because it's stated on the study unit. So I just wanted
this one, yeah, you can't pass the step, but this one I was directed by the required.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I did it like this. I was directed by our required.
All right, thank you so much for that. It's clear.
Well, thank you. In the absence of questions, can we continue? Or is there
let's continue. They will come back again. This was true, but I see. So let's continue. I will mute everyone. Then I will take questions just before we end the class.
Yeah, let's go. This one, I don't know what's going on here. Why this coming here? Oh, this is another questions on prepaid expenses. Here you are given pre-adjustment trial balance. Under the nominal account, you are given advertising amount of 12,120. And under additional information, they are saying advertising is exceeded by a 1 month premium of 3,120. Here, the required number A says, which accounts will be debited and credited for the advertising, which is exceeded by 1 month premium of 3,120. And required B says, disclose the effect of exceeding the advertising by a 1 month premium of 3,120 in the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, and also statement of financial position for the year ended 28 February 20.8. Here, the first one, remember we overstated our expenses by 3,120, And the request says which account will be debited and credited for the advertising, which is exceeded by 1 month's premium of 3120. Here we overstated our expenses by 3120. That's why we credited our advertising expenses by 3120 to reduce, to correct our expenses account because it was overstated by 3120, and we debited our prepaid expenses, which is an asset, because 3120 belongs to the next financial period. That's why we increases our prepaid expenses by 3120 and reduces our expenses by 3120. Here is under statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. That's why here you see our, where is that thing? Sorry. You see, this is the amount recorded under our pre-adjustment trial balance, because this amount included 3120. Because this 12120 is overstated by 3120. Then to correct this 12120, we must subtract 3120 and correct the correct figure under our statement of profit and loss, under distribution and administrative and other expenses. Then our advertising expenses will be recorded as 9,000, not 12120, as per our pre-adjustment trial balance. Then this is our statement of financial position for the year ended. And remember, we said prepaid expense is our current asset. It's an expense paid during the current financial period, but relates to the next financial period. Then it will form part of our current assets under trade and other receivable. Maybe you'll say trade and other receivables, the opening balance, you less your credit losses written off during the year, you less your new allowances for credit losses, and also you add your prepaid expenses. That's why it will form part of our trade and other receivables. I'm done with the expenses prepaid. I gave you 2 examples. Let's move to the next one, which is accrued expenses. Here we are saying accrued expenses refers to expenses that have been incurred in the current financial period, but which are still unpaid at the end of the current financial period. And we said accrued expenses is a liability. Accrued expenses is an expenses which are still outstanding at the end of the current financial period. That's why we classified them as liability. Business is still owing those expenses. Maybe the other expenses, it will be maybe the business has used water and electricity. And at the end of the financial period, the business had not paid for water and electricity. That amount unpaid will result accrued expenses, which is our liability because we are still owing. Remember, liability is debt of the business, and liability increases on the credit side and reduces on the debit side. Let's move on. This is class examples of our accrued expenses. Here they say on 28 Feb 20.1, which is the end of the financial period of Tata Dealers. Tata Dealers water and electricity account shows expenses of 2,880. On closer examination, Tata Dealers accountant establishes that the month of February water and electricity account of 360 has not been taken into account. That means this 360 is still outstanding, still unpaid by the business at the end of the financial period. Here required says, and remember, always accrued expenses must be added from our expenses account when we are doing statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. Accrued expenses must be added with other expenses account. Required A says which accounts will be debited and credited for the water and electricity that has not been taken into account for the months of February 20.1. Required B, disclose the water and electricity expenses and accrued expenses in the financial statement for the year ended 28 Feb 20.1. Financial statement, we mean statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income and statement of financial position. Here you must exclude your statement of changes in equity. And because remember, this expense does not affect our statement of changes in equity. And also this expense will not form part of our notes when we are doing our notes. Here, this is the solution for required A. We said we debited water and electricity expenses and we credited our liability. Because as I said, our accrued expenses will be added from our expenses account. Remember our expenses account, let's go to the previous slide quickly. Our previous expenses, it was shown as 2,808. This 360 accrued expenses must be added to 2,808 to arrive at the correct amount of your water and electricity under statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. As I said, this statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income must be 12 months statement. And on this one, you only receive 2,808 is for 11 months. Then to make it 12 months, we must add the 360. That's why here we increases our expenses because water and electricity is an expense. And we said expenses increases on the debit side and reduces on the credit side. We increases our expenses by 360. And because we are still owing, we also increases our liability because we said liability increases on the credit side and reduces on the debit side. That's why here we see our liability also increases by 360. This is when you post to the general ledger account, T account of water and electricity and accrued expenses. The transaction took place here. This is our financial year end. We open with the 2,880 and we increase our expenses by 360. And the total amount is 324 and we close this water and electricity expenses account in our profit and loss as 3240. Under accrued expenses, which is a liability, and I said liability increases here on the credit side and reduces on the debit side because we are still owing. We increases our liability by 360. This is our statement of profit and loss. As I said, accrued expenses must always be added from your expenses account. Here we added 360 because this 2,880 is for 11 months. This 360 is the 1 month outstanding. To make it 12 months, you must say 11 months 2,880 plus 364 1 month, it will give you 12 months because here we record the transactions for 12 months. Then it will give you the total amount of 3,240. Then because accrued expenses is a liability, it will go and form part of our current liabilities under our statement of financial position as 360. Can we take a few questions on accrued expenses?
Okay. I'm opening the mics now. So the first hand, it will be Ian.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. I need to know about this accrued expense. How do you recognize? How do you know this is accrued expense? Like, is it the amount that is being paid forward, or how can
Accrued
I
expenses
say?
is an expense on the transaction. You will see it. It's an expenses which has been incurred by the entity during the current financial period, but not paid by the entity at the end of the current financial period. For example, maybe the entity have used water and electricity, maybe for the whole 12 months, but have not paid for water and electricity, maybe for 2 months. Then the 2 months unpaid will form part of your accrued expenses.
Okay. That which means it's an outstanding.
That's why it's expenses which are still outstanding.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah,
expenses which are still outstanding.
And then I need to know about the previous slides where we were doing the when we first do the data one for 2,400. Then about the balance brought forward and balance is the balance. Balance
The
brought
one
forward,
of
balance paid
expenses prepaid.
Yes.
That one, yeah, we'll take your questions after the class. We'll take your questions for
All right,
prepaid
thank you,
expenses again. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Is there any questions? Any questions?
Hi, sir. Can you
Sorry,
hear me?
we have Makari.
Okay, thank you, ma'am and sir. Mine, I'm just going to combine it with the previous one also because I'm trying to understand between the two so that I can move forward between the prepaid expense and the accrued expense. I tried to put my question on the chat because I wanted to understand what informs us to determine what which months to exclude and which months to put in. For example, I will make an example with how I do my payment. Let's say I'm paying the school fees of the children, and then for this year I had maybe I didn't have money, but then I paid I prepaid all the months in January or February. Let's say I paid all the fees, and then come around August, I get money, and I realized if I don't use it, I might use it for different things. Then I prepay for the following year, for the whole year. So the example that I wanted to understand, because that's where I get confused as to what to put where.
Oh, let me remember the financial statement are for 12 months. The financial statement are for 12 months. And prepaid expenses, we are saying, is an expenses which has been paid during the current financial period, but relates to the next financial period. Maybe, let's say, maybe you must, maybe your annual, let's say, let's give example with annual, with insurance premium. Maybe you are paying annual insurance premium of 12,000 per month, 12,000 per year, sorry, 12,000 per year. And you paid 15,000. That means 3,000 will be prepaid expenses because you paid for the next financial period, because you covered the whole financial period by paying 12,000, and 3,000 will be regarded as expenses for the next financial period. I'm not sure whether you are clear on prepaid expenses or not.
No, I am clear because what I'm trying to find out is us putting things in the wrong places, because in this question, I would have taken the whole 2,400 and put it on the next financial year with the maybe idea of that on the previous financial year, the 2,400 that belongs to the previous financial year, this means it has already paid for all the 12 months. So I was going to put it on the other side. Hence, I'm making an example of paying the the fees, if I'm gonna pay for the next year, I'll pay for the whole year, and then when I get the other money, even if the year is not yet ended, I usually get my bonus in August, so I prefer to pay beforehand so that then I'm cleared. But in this case, I'm trying to find out. Okay,
Yeah. For the next year, your paying will be regarded as expenses prepaid.
Yes.
Oh,
but
I mean, you are paying now. You are paying. Yeah, it will be regarded as expenses prepaid. The one you are paying for next year. Agree, you said maybe for school fees you pay for the whole year, and during the year you paid extra. Maybe you pay for the next year. The amount paying for the next year will be your prepaid expenses, and the one for the current year, it will be school fees expenses.
yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to relate it, but it's fine. For the accrued one, if I don't pay the full amount, let's say I pay only half, and then I don't pay again for the whole year. On the following year, I accrued another 6,000 before I can pay the amount. So my problem is, where do I put things? Because then I get confused as to how to place them on the journals. Thank you.
You remember prepaid expense? I said prepaid expense is a current asset. And remember, asset increases on the debit side and reduces on the credit side. If maybe you increase your prepaid expenses, which is an asset, you must put it on the debit side. If you reduces your prepaid expenses, which is an asset, you must put it on the credit side. But here, because we increases our, here on the first one, we said we overstated our insurance premium by 2,000. That's why we said the 2,000 will form part of your prepaid expenses. And remember, prepaid expenses you must always subtract prepaid expenses from your expenses account when doing statement of financial position. And when doing your adjusting journal entry, because now you overstated your expenses by 2,000. You must reduce your expenses by 2,000. And we said expenses reduces on the credit side. That's why you saw on the previous slides. On the previous slide, we said credit insurance premium, which is an expense by 2,000. We reduces our expenses by 2,000 because we overstated our expenses by 2,000. And we said prepaid expense is a current asset. That's why we debited prepaid expenses by 2,000 because now we increases our asset. And when coming to accrued expenses is an expenses which are still outstanding at the end of the current financial period, still unpaid by the business at the end of the financial period. That's why we classified accrued expenses as a current liability, because the business still owing that amount because they have not yet paid that amount. As I gave you example, my example was maybe the business have used water and electricity for the whole financial period, but the 2 months still unpaid by the business, that 2 months still unpaid will form part of your accrued expenses because it's a liability, it's a debt of the business because they are still owing. And I said, always you must add your accrued expenses to your expenses account when you are doing statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. And your accrued expenses will form part of your current liabilities under statement of financial position. I don't know whether you are answered or not.
Thank you, sir. I'm answered.
If you are not, maybe you can send us an email if on the FAC 1502, or you can call us via Teams during the week. If you are not maybe clear, you are allowed to call us during the weekend. We'll discuss the question with you, or you can send us an email.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Mfoko, how many slides do we still have to go with? Is Cora 2?
I don't know, it's
45.
Now, again, now we're on the set. Then we'll go to the accrued income after this one. We'll go to consumables. We'll go to credit loss and depreciation. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
can you just try to do? Then we can take more questions after that. Students, if you still can't see the chats, kindly join the class, the FAC Teams class. I think that might be the issue, that you are not linked to that, and this class is linked to the students to that link. So kindly join the class. This class is head by us. We are leading the class, so you are safe. We have full control of this class, and there's no scammers. We will definitely disable all the scammers if we notice. So kindly join, and then as soon as you have joined, just indicate on the chat if you are now can see the chat. So I know we still have hands, but it's almost 3 o'clock. Can we allow Mr. Hokono to continue and see how far he can go? We will share the slides after the class on the chats, and also we will add them in my Unisa.
Let's
Ian, can
move.
you bear with us? Take questions later.
Yeah,
Please,
the set adjustment is the set adjustment on our slides is income received in advance, and here we are saying refers to income which has been received by the business during the current financial period, but relates to a future financial period. The other amount relates to a future financial period, and we said income received in advance is classified as a liability. Remember, liability increases on the credit side and reduces on the debit side. Here, what maybe I'll say, maybe the business here with income received in advance, maybe I'll say the business maybe received money. Maybe the business received money during the current financial period, which have not yet been incurred by the business. And whoever paid us money can still come back and request his money back, and the business will have to pay for those suppliers. Let's move. Yes, our small class examples. They are saying on 28 Feb 20.1, end of its financial year, Tata dealers rental income shows that 10,400 was received. Tata dealers rents out a part of its building for 800 a month. On closer investigations, it is established that the rental for March 20.1 has already been received. Remember, our year end is when? Where is that thing? Sorry. Our year end is 28 Feb, and start date of our current financial year is 1 March 20.0. And here they are saying, on closer investigation, it is established that the rental income for March relates to the next financial period has already been received. That means we received the amount for 18 months. Here on our required, we say calculate the number of months the rent was paid for, which accounts will be debited and credited for rent income that does not belong in the current financial period ending 28 Feb 20.1. Disclose the rent income and income received in advance in the financial statement for the year ended 28 Feb 20.1. Here, calculate the number of months that the rent was paid for. Here we are saying it is 13 months. It's 1 March 20.0. If you count from 1 March 20.0 to 31st March 20.1, it will give you 13 months. Here is March to March. It will give you 13 months, because March to Feb, it will give you 12 months. That's why here is current financial period starts 1 March and 28 Feb. And next financial period starts 1 March 20 and end 28 Feb 20. Here is mistake. It must be 20.2 here, not 20.1. You must correct, will correct it. It must be 20.2. Here we received how much? We received 10,400 and we divide by, because here they said rents out part of each building for 800 a month. Here you can say 10,400 divided by 800. It will give you 13 months. And on required B, we are saying which accounts will be debited and credited for the rent income that does not belong to in the current financial period. And we see on the previous slide, 800 does not belong in the current financial period. And remember, rent is an income, and we said income increases on the credit side and reduces on the debit side. Here we decreases our income by debiting our income by 800. Because if you credit income account, that means you increase your income account. Here we reduce our income account by debiting it by 800. Here we said income received in advance is a liability. That's why we increases our liability by 800. This is your journal entry. Here we are saying disclose the rent income and income received in advance in the statement, in the financial statement for the year ended 28 Feb 20.1. Here, this is our statement of profit and loss, and our rent income in our statement of profit and loss are decreased by the amount of 800 because, as I said previously, this statement must show the amount for 12 months, and the 800 is for 18 months. That's why we reduced the 10,400 because we overstated our rent income by 800, which is the amount for income received in advance. Then under statement of financial position for the year ended, income received in advance is a liability. It will form part of your current liabilities under statement of financial position as 800. This is our rent income general ledger account. And we said rent income is an income, and income increases on the credit side and reduces on the debit side. Then on the debit side, we've put the amount 10,400 and we reduces our rent income by 800 received in advance. And we disclose of the account to profit and loss account with 9,600. And income received in advance is a liability. And I said liability increases on the credit side and reduces on the debit side. That's why we increases our income received in advance with 800. This is the contra account. The other account involved in the transaction. Remember, there are two accounts involved in the transaction. Is income received in advance and our rent income. This is another examples of income received in advance. Here pre-adjustment trial balance is given, which is ending 28 Feb 20.8. You are given nominal account section. They gave you rent income 15,000. Under additional information, they are saying on 1 March 20.7. This is the beginning of the current financial period. That means our financial period will start from 1 March 20.7 and ending 28 February 20.8. They are saying on 1 March, beginning of the current financial year, a tenant paid 15,000 to cover for the rent for 15 months. That the tenant paid for 15,000, then to calculate monthly rental, you will take 15,000 divided by 15. It will give you monthly rental. 15,000 divided by 15. The monthly rental is 1,000 per month, and they are saying they paid for 15 months. That means 1,000 times 12 is for current year. And 1,000 times 3 is for the next financial period. They calculate rent per month. Already we calculated it, 15,000 divided by 15, it will give you 1,000 per month. Required B, calculate rent. That does not belong in the current accounting period ending 28 Feb 20.8. Here we said 15,000 divided by 15 gives you 1,000 per month. 1,000 times 12, it will give you 12,000 for the current financial period. And the other 3,000, 1,000 times 3, it will give you the amount that does not belong to the current financial period, which is 3,000. Here you must indicate which accounts you debit and credit for rent income that does not belong in the current financial period. Then you disclose the effect of rent income in the statement of profit. Here is in the statement of profit and loss, another comprehensive income, and statement of financial position, not using the old name income statement and balance sheet statement. This is the rent per month, 15,000 divided by 15 months equals to 1,000 per month. Here, calculate the rent income that does not belong in the current financial period, which is 3 months, because we said at the beginning of the current financial period, the business paid for, received rent for 15 months. Yeah. This 1,000 times 3, 3,000 belong to the next financial period, which is ending. There is error here, which is ending. Yeah, we must correct it. It must be 2.9. Sorry. It must be 2.9. Here it must be 2.9 because the next financial period end. Here must be 2.9 because the next financial period. This one is correct because it says calculate rent income that does not belong in the current financial period. So this 2.8 is correct. It's 3,000. Number C, which account will be debited and created for the rent income that does not belong in the current financial period? Here we want you to give us adjusting journal entries. Then we debited our rent income by 3,000 because 3,000 belongs to the next financial period because we overstated our rent income by 3,000. And to correct the rent income, you must reduce it by 3,000. And to reduce income account, you must debit the income account because I said income increases on the credit side and reduces on the debit side. That's why we reduces our rent income by 3,000. And here we increases our liability because I said liability increases on the credit side and reduces on the debit side. Here we increases our liability by 3,000. This is statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. We'll correct the names and send the slide to you. Here is our statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. Here I said our rent income is overstated by 3,000. That's why we take out 3,000 because I said this statement is for 12 months and 3,000 is for 3 months. So it's for 50. The full amount of 15,000 is for 15 months. And 3,000 is for the 3 months that belong to the next financial period. That's why we reduced our rent income by 3,000 to arrive at the figure for 12 months, which is 12,000. Now we go to the statement of financial position for the year. Remember, I said income received is income which has been received during the current financial period, but relates to the next financial period. And I said this income received in advance will be classified as a liability and will be included under trade and other payables. That's why you will see here. It forms part of trade and other payables. The next one is our accrued income. Here we said accrued income refers to income that has been earned in the current financial period, but which has not yet been received by the entity at the end of the current financial period. And I said accrued income will be classified as our assets. This is our accrued income. Maybe the business sold to a customer on credit, but at the end of the current financial period, the customer still owe the business. That is our accrued income, because we render the services to the customer by selling to him or her on credit. But at the end of the financial period, the customer is still owing us. It will form part of our assets in our books. Accrued income will form part of our current assets in our books. Here we are given extract pre-adjustment trial balance. They gave you state balance sheet, which is under statement of financial position. They give you fixed deposit. They're saying ABC Bank at 10% per annum, 370,000. And under nominal accounts, we are given interest on fixed deposit amounted to 27,750. And under additional information, we said interest on fixed deposit for the last quarter has not yet been received. Let's go to the next page, the next slide, which is our required A. Calculate the interest on fixed deposit for the year ended 28 Feb 20.8. Required B. Calculate the interest on fixed deposit that still needs to be corrected for the year ended 28 February 20.8. Required C. Which accounts will be debited and credited for the interest on fixed deposit that has not yet been received. Required D. Disclose the fixed deposit and the interest on fixed deposit in the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income and statement of financial position for the year ended 28 Feb 20.8. Here is the answer. Here we give you the calculation of interest on fixed deposit. Here, remember, if you go back to our pre-adjustment trial balance, first you must calculate the interest on fixed deposit, which is 370,000 times 10% times 12 over 12. 12 months out of 12 months. 370 times 10%, it will give you 37,000. Is the interest that the business must receive during the year. From which? From ABC Bank. From ABC Bank, yeah. We must receive 37,000 interest on fixed deposit from ABC Bank. But if you go back to our trial balance, we received how much? Our pre-adjustment trial balance shows us that we already received 27,750 from ABC Bank. Instead of receiving 37,000, then we already received 27,750. That means the difference between the amount we received and the amount still owing will form part of our accrued expenses, as you see on required B. As you see on required B, which says calculate interest on it, that still need to be recorded for the year ended 28 February 20.8. Remember, we recorded how much in our books? We recorded 27,750 instead of 37,000. Then required number C say which accounts will be debited and credited for the interest on fixed deposit that has not yet been received. Here we debit our accrued income because I said accrued income is an asset, and I said assets increases on the debit side and reduces on the credit side. And I said interest on fixed deposit is an income, and we said income increases on the credit side and reduces on the debit side. And remember, income accrued is income that is earned by the entity. We earn that income by making a fixed deposit into ABC Bank. And if you go back and check our pre-adjustment trial balance, we received interest of 27,750 instead of the 37,000 that we must receive. That means the 9,250 is still amount owed by ABC Bank to the business. That's why we said income accrued is income that is earned by the business in the current financial period from East Line. That one is from ABC Bank, but which has not yet been received by the entity at the end of the financial period. At the end of the financial period, we received 27,750 instead of 37,000. The difference, which has not yet been received by the entity, 9,200 and 9,250, will form part of our accrued income. And we said accrued income is an asset. That's why we increases our assets by 9,250, because we said assets increases on the debit side and reduces on the credit side. This is our
Mr.
statement.
Kokone, sorry.
Uh,
Yeah, oh, you are on which slide is number?
Slide number?
Yes.
I don't know, because I'm on slide show. I don't know which slide number.
Yeah, because we are over our time, and
Or maybe
I
we'll
have shared the
do.
slides.
We'll
Yeah, I've shared the
finish.
slides with students, and
We'll
maybe we can take few questions. Then the students have the slides because it's just the examples now, and they can go through the
Let's finish.
slides.
Let's finish this accrued income. Then maybe we'll organize a small class to finish the last adjustments.
So how many
Yeah.
are left? Can you just scroll and check?
This one, let's finish this one only, because now we'll take questions from the 4 previous adjustments.
Okay, thank you.
Then this is our statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. Remember under our pre-adjustment, we recorded interest income of 27,750 instead of 37,000. That's why we increases our income by 9,250. That's why in our statement of profit and loss, the total amount to be recorded is 87,000. Because if you go back here on the pre-adjustment trial balance here, we understated our interest on fixed deposit. Because instead of recording the 87,000, we recorded 27,750. Then when coming to the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, we corrected it by adding the 9,250 from 27,750 to record the correct amount of 37,000 under statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. And I said accrued income is a current asset. If you come to let's start with the fixed deposit. Fixed deposit will form part of your non-current assets in the statement of financial position under asset. Then we record the full amount of 3750 under non-current assets as fixed deposit. Then accrued expenses will form part of your current assets. It will form part of your trade and other receivables under current asset. That's why the 9,250 will form part of your current assets under statement of financial position. Let's stop here. We'll organize another class to finish this adjustment. Can we take questions? We'll organize class to continue with adjustment 5 to 8, the last adjustment. We'll send you an announcement, but the class will be before. I will see next week because we are going on Easter. The assessment is opening when? Maybe next week on our class, part 2 of 2. Our class, part 2 of 2.
Joseph?
Hello?
Joseph?
Hello?
Yeah. Yes. And for the adjustments that are remaining, we can start with them on Tuesday before we
Yeah,
start
that's
with
why we'll
project.
finish them on Tuesday.
So yeah, so we are not having another class except this.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we'll finish
we have
them
like
on Tuesday.
couple of classes. We need to deal with the other topics. But however, this is not difficult section at all. As long as you've got your basic accounting equation in order. Guys, you are fine. I
Yeah,
see
we'll
they're laughing. Mr. Joseph likes classes and there's no time. We need to do other topics as well. And our tutors are also going to be assisting with the classes. And also the Miss Aziza will be also presenting classes, and also Walter will be presenting classes. You guys are very smart. I don't expect you to fail because we have like 6 people presenting classes per week. I don't know how you guys are coping to attend all these classes because I'm really not coping to be in all the 6 classes per week. So
we'll finish the slides on Tuesday. Maybe let's take the questions.
So I'm going to take few questions and let me see how many. There's only 4. I'm taking this 4, then we can go. It's a holiday. We need to go celebrate today's holiday. So we have Pilar, quickly.
Hi, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm fine.
Sir, in terms of prepaid expense, I think the confusion is the understanding the timeline, basically, because like there's a lot of confusion for the January and the February, the 2 months, and what's happening with the 10 months. I feel like that's what the other lady was asking about the prepaid expense, because we don't understand why is it the January, the January, why is it the current year, and why is the other 10 months
Yeah, let me explain. You see here, you see my slide.
I do, sir.
I say current financial year ends on when? 28 February 20.1.
Yes.
And we said on 1st of January. First, to understand this adjustment better, first you must determine the current financial period. If I'm saying the current financial period is ending 28 February 20.1, if you count 12 months backwards, you will get your start period of the current financial period. If I'm counting backwards, it says my start period is 1 March 20.0.
Yes.
Then on 2nd January 20.1, the business paid annual insurance premium. Let's maybe leave the new. The business paid annual insurance premium of 2,400. And remember, annual means 12 months. Annual means a year.
Yes.
They paid this 2,400 for a year, and they paid when? January, and the year ending is February. That means during the current financial period, they paid for 2 months. They paid for January and February, and the other 10 months relates to the next financial period, which is ending 28 February 20.2.
All right. So can you please go to the timeline? Can you please go to the timeline quickly?
I don't know whether on this, this is the timeline. You see the timeline.
So, okay,
These 2
I think
months.
I think the confusion is, March 20.1. Is it meant to be March 20.2?
No, this is, remember here, you see here, current financial period ends 28 February 20.1. That's why here is 20.1. This is our current financial period. This one is the next financial period. This amount is for the next financial period, which is ending 28 February 20.2.
Oh, okay, I see. I understand.
Like here, you can see here, current financial period start 1 March, ends 28 Feb. Next financial period starts 1 March 20.1, ends 28 February 20.2.
Okay, I got it, sir. Thank you so much.
My good sir, can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can go on.
Yes, it's a personal question, sir. Do you mind continuing with the class if you have time personally?
Because I'm alone. If I'm alone, I'm on the slideshow mode. I can't see your hand. I can't see anything. The only thing I see is my slides. I can't even mute, unmute. I can't do anything alone. That's why the class
Remember,
needs.
students, remember, we're still gonna have a class on Monday,
Monday,
but on
yeah,
the adjustments on Tuesday.
On
On
Tuesday, the
Tuesday, we are
adjustment.
continuing with the same topic.
Yeah, we'll continue on Tuesday. On Tuesday we'll finish the adjustment and do the class. Do the exercise, sorry. After we'll continue from adjustment number 5. After we'll do exercise.
Are you fine?
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Thank
Yes.
you. Can we have Retabile? Then Kutle, and I think we are done. I see the hands keeps increasing. Are you able to post, guys, on the chat? And I see those who can't.
There is no questions.
No, there's
No, afternoon, sir.
Retabile.
Yeah?
Afternoon, sir. Am I clear?
Yeah, you are clear.
Yes, you are clear, Retabile.
My question is that in the balance sheet under the current liabilities, will the accrued expense be recorded under trade and other payables, or is it an individual entry?
You mean create another?
The accrued expense.
You can show it separately under current liabilities. Maybe you can show trade payables, then under you can show accrued expenses. You can show it separately under statement of financial position.
That's
under
all.
current liabilities.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any question?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I go for it?
Okay. Is it Kutle? Kutle?
Yes, before she, hi, good day. Before she asks her question, mine is actually a request. The platform that we usually post the recorded sessions on is a bit off, and please enable the download option, because for some of the classes, when I want to revisit them when I'm studying, I have to stream and I can't download. Could you please enable the download motion, or just put it on YouTube? Because that's an easier and workable, more platform to stream on, other than the one that you officially use, please. Unless you enable the download function, please.
We created YouTube channel.
Yes, I posted it here, guys. Can you just test it if you can? Because we have created it already last week and we have posted this already. It's been a while from last week.
Yes, unfortunately, okay. Unfortunately for me, I was one of the ones who couldn't who couldn't see the chat. So I don't really know what you've posted, ma'am. Could you please maybe post it on the my Unisa? Yes, thank you. Thank you.
It's
Thank you so
already
much.
there on my Unisa. It's already on my Unisa. The YouTube channel. And then also, have you joined the Teams class that we've created? Not my problem. You see
all
when
right,
you
ma'am.
open
I'll
the lines. So you can unmute yourself. I have to mute you because of the noise. So we have, that's why I'm going to stress this even more. Read announcements daily, because we are posting the information weekly, on a weekly basis there. And also on the class, I try to add the same announcement in case my Unisa is down. So can you see the chats now, say?
No, I can't, ma'am. But I will check the
Did you
Unisa.
join the class? You haven't joined the class.
I have. I think I have.
Can you see what I've been posting on the class? How it looks like?
Or
Can I share my screen? Let me share my screen for the interest so that you guys can.
I must
be
unshare.
on this.
Let me unshare.
Yeah, you can unshare. I want to show the students what we are trying to do to help. Yeah, okay.
And then Rasij, suka.
You see why? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the Teams class, FAC 1502. So here I'm trying to create this platform for you to be able to host. Let me see. I've got many teams here, folders. There, this one, sorry. FAC 1502 class. So you can see my teams is very busy. So today's class, the chats are still here in the class for you to go back. Then before then, I've been posting during the assessment one, hence I put this on announcements. When you get errors, how to deal. So I copy all the announcements again. We try to post it here again. And also to provide you with some of the support, extra stuff that you can think about. So I've been posting, and students that are looking at the announcements, they are able to see what I've been posting about. I'm trying to see if you can see more. Even that WhatsApp, the Teams one, I did put it here, you know, assessment information again, because I know my Unisa can go down. So I tried to duplicate the information again here. I've also added, you know, those who are struggling with digital skills, numeracy and everything. Because this ones, you also, if you go through this resource, you will find classes for other of your other modules from different regions. So remember, the regions have classes as well. So if you want an additional class, you can check what topic they're doing. If you think that topic you didn't understand, or you need someone maybe to explain it in a different way, you can find them under the numeracy folder under the regions. Then I also, the YouTube channel, I also put it here as well, again, the old one. Then I've put in, you know, the students who are struggling to get the admin self-assessment, who are struggling to figure out. I posted also again here, because I understand that my Unisa might be the problem. So also for those who have been struggling to get study material, like now I had put the study material from study unit 1 to 10 for you guys here, in case my Unisa is giving you issues. We are posting, we have trying to use all the resources so that when my Unisa is down, you've got something. Even the other recordings I've tried, but now we saw this is not working. Hence, we created the YouTube channel for you guys to get access to it. Happy? So are you all sorted now?
No, ma'am. I've been trying to add this class since on the 13th, ne? But the error that I get, it says 0 members. Then when I try to join, it doesn't want to join. I'll send the screenshot on the assessment 1 revision, because I can see you always posting there and responding, but then I can't. Maybe if it's possible, can you add me? I'll send the screenshot of that error, because when I follow the link, you posted it on the 13th. I can't. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know. So you can post it here, or you can see this chat. You can post
No,
it
I can't
under
see
the
chats. I can't see chats. I'll post it under the assessment 1 revision.
No problem. Then I will see what we can do for you. Anyone else having issues, kindly do that, because now we've got.
Miss Mziza,
Yes,
how can I join the group? Should I download the app, or even on the laptop I can join the group?
Yeah, you must download Teams. You know Teams? It's there on your Office 365. Just download the Teams app, then you'll be able to access the Teams. Then you will use your My Unisa login details.
Okay, in order to get this group, I have to type FAC 1502-2024.
No, FAC class, but you can send me an email since, well, you can't, then we can try to help you. Send an email, then on top there, tell me to join the group. Then I can send you the link.
All right,
I'll
thank
send
you.
you the link.
Okay, thanks.
So, yeah, so please, if you are struggling, do that, and we'll try to assist you to do that.
Okay.
But next,
All right.
the next other classes, I will do it outside the class. It's just that with the class, it's easier because it saves everything here as compared if it's on the class. but we'll do the normal class next week so that we don't have issues. And we'll try to keep adding you because I see the students are requesting to join. I'm busy doing that. I've been doing it throughout the class, Theodora. So, okay, I've just accepted you, so you should be sorted. So let's meet again on Monday. Yes, let's meet again on Monday. Prepare study unit 8 for Monday, the bank reconciliation. Please, if you don't have access to the YouTube channel, send an email on your email on top, say need access to YouTube channel so that I can just post it. I can see it quick and put it there because I've got like over 1,000 emails that we still have to respond. So we won't see it. So on your subject, say YouTube channel, please give me access to YouTube channel on the subject, not inside that, so that I can respond with the links quickly. Happy? So we'll meet again, 6 o'clock again on Monday, 6 o'clock again on Tuesday. Monday is the bank reconciliation. Please revise. It will be presented by one of our e-tutors who are very experienced. They will be conducting the class. We will try to check what they are doing, but we trust that they know what they are doing. However, if you still have questions after the class, post it on your e-tutors. I have sent the e-tutors and I've also called the e-tutor coordinator to inform them that our students are not happy and they need to put their house in order, or else we'll tell the principal that they are not giving us the service that our students are paying for, because we need them to also be part of this so that we can get a very high pass rate and assist you all, because 16,000 students, guys, we can't see all of you. We can't stay on call for an hour with each and every one of you. We can't answer all 1,000 or emails per day. It's not possible. So hence we need the e-tutors. Report them immediately. Put it on top there. E-tutor group number not responding. Then immediately when I see that, I will forward it to their manager to deal with them. Any issues you encounter, if they're responding to you, you are not happy with the response, or you feel this person doesn't know what they're doing, if tutor not performing subject, then you tell me what they're doing, then we will deal with them. Because these are highly qualified people, and Unisa is paying them money so that they can also assist us to give you a better service. So with the absence, I'm sorry I couldn't take more questions, Patricia and Komoto, because we are almost 30 minutes over our class time. And we try. Let's try next week to come prepared so that you guys can get value for the classes. Those who are still late registration, don't forget to email me if you didn't get my email. We have won the battle with management because we know there are students who have just been finalized this. I mean, that's not their fault for the late registration. So we cannot allow you just to fail like that. So for assessment to prepare, guys, we'll have, before assessment 2, we'll have 2 classes before it opens on the 2nd of April. Then after then, we'll move to assessment 3. As I said, assessment 2, if you didn't complete assessment 1, you won't be able to do assessment 2 without completing the admin self-assessment. The admin self-assessment will still block you until you do it. You must do it once. If you have done it, you should be able to, the key must already be gone from your site. It must be open, but you can't see the questions, but at least you know that you have access. If you don't see them, please send us an email as soon as you have got your over 80% on the admin self-assessment. That key on your assessment 2 must be removed. It should show removed. If not, send us an email. Same on the subject, say, I'm done with admin self-assessment, but my assessment 2 is logged. Put it there so that we can see from there before we read everything, so that we can prioritize agent queries. As I said again, post all your queries on there, except when they are technical, personal, and you are not getting help from your e-tutors. But if the e-tutors are helping you, please just reduce the email sent to us so that we can be able to attend to other agent matters, because we have students who are still busy with finalizing their registrations and they are very frustrated. Thank you very much, and thank you to my colleague, Mr. Mkhokone, for the presentation, and thank you for your patience. I know you guys wanted to continue until, but we can't do that. We have allocated 2 hours, so we have, you know, you are lucky students. You always, I mean, the other time we were over with 1 hour, 30 minutes every week. And you know, some modules, they don't even do that. I mean, if they're doing it, please tell me, because I know already first semester, we are on the 5th class. By the end of the semester, you might have 20 classes, guys. Different people, different presenters. We are trying. If you can't attend the class, try to watch the YouTube so that you don't fall behind. I know sometimes work, things happen, you are not available. Don't feel bad to say you missed the class. Just watch. If you have any questions related to that, post to your e-tutors. If they don't respond, bring it to us. We will help you. Thank you and congratulations for finishing assessment 1, and let's ace this assessment 2. It's not difficult. It's the same. The basics are the same. Just revise, do revision. And you know what I'm not laughing, but what was shocking is that students still struggled with the CRJ and CPJ, and we went through it in detail. And that question was not difficult, that was in that. We did everything. There's nothing new in the assessment. We only assess you on things we taught you. We only assess with things that are in the study material that we expect you to know. So there's no foreign thing, there's nothing that we expect you to know that we didn't touch, either in the study material, in the class, in the examples, in the revisions. Those revisions are there as a revisions because they are a model of what might transpire in the assessment. We will change scenario. We will put some things that seems new, but they are not new. It's just there. And we know students had an error message saying they did not complete while they've completed. Kindly ignore that. Please plug the link on my Unisa. 4, please indicate which link, because we're gonna send this recording to our ICT. I think he's working tomorrow to be able to add it to our YouTube channel. So our ICT is the one looking after our YouTube channel, because we lecturers, we need to be dealing with the content. Please, Nicholas, indicate on the chat which link is it. So please be confident that when you have done everything we told you, exercises, if you see errors in the questions you don't understand, post it on your e-tutor site. They will bring it to us if they don't know the answer, because they've got direct communication with us. They've got our cell phone numbers, our WhatsApp and all that. If I can't see the email, they will call me, they will send an email, they will send the WhatsApp if they don't have an answer, because their duty is to respond to you within 48 hours. So within hours, you should get your response. Whether they know the answer or they don't know, they must say, look, we will investigate. If they don't say anything, report them so that we can improve. We can hire people who have a heart for our students to give you support, to help you to pass. Because me and Joseph, we can't do it alone, dealing with the 16,000 students. We have to make sure, like now, Joseph is busy presenting. I'm busy trying to respond to 1,000 emails in our mailbox. I'm busy accepting you in the Teams class. I had to call our coordinator. I had to email the e-tutors to say, if you don't do what I told you to do, I'm going to make sure that we stop your payment, because our students need to pass this module. They paid for this, they are adults, and they need to get their qualifications within the record time. So thank you very much and for listening to my story. I didn't do accounting in high school. I've passed, I will remind you, I've passed this module. It was not an easy one. I attended the the tutoring classes, it worked. I got my distinctions on the first year. At the beginning, I didn't understand what is debit or credit. I did science, I did geography, I did biology, I did maths. But look now, this is possible. Don't tell yourself, don't be negative to say, you know what, I don't know any account. Start with the basic. Go through our study material, read the study, don't jump the pages, don't look at the answer, the question and the answer immediately. What we call it, yes, no method. You are not doing justice to yourself.
For us. And
Yeah, I
thank you,
understand.
Mr. MM, for your patience as
So,
well.
yes, Sipe. So we are done. See you on Monday. Thank you, Nicholas. We will look
Wait,
at
ma'am.
it.
Wait, ma'am.
Yes.
How can we see? I'm one person who's also doing this for the first time. So for my first attempt, I failed, but for my second attempt, I managed to pass. I think with a 60 something. But I don't know where I fall short because I thought I now understood what I was doing, but I still got 68. So how do we now check where we went wrong and where can we improve? Because we're still gonna cover it on assignment 2.
We'll discuss, I don't know when, but
Yeah,
because
it's a
on my
difficult
Unisa,
one.
I can't see my results.
Yes, you can.
And yes.
You
So
can-
is
you can-
it possible if we can get that so
No.
that we can try to improve for the
assessment.
assignment 2?
No, not at the moment, because there are students who are still busy with the assessment. It will be unfair for us to release the questions without, while the other students are busy with the assessment. We will see after post next month, maybe, because they are still writing, if we can be able to select some of those questions again that students struggled with. But like I say, most students struggled with the CPJ and CRJ question. Then I will also see after the assessment is closed for the late registration to see if I can just share some feedback, because we cannot really open it that much because of the plagiarism, the third parties, we are dealing in a very hostile environment now, guys. You give one student, you give them everything, they are selling it to you guys. They come and sell it and people fail. So we really need to be a bit careful how we release such confidential information so that only the students can get it. But we will see what we can do. But however, go back, revise your study unit 1 to 5 again. 68 is not bad at all. I mean, I'm proud of you. You have done very well. It means it might be a few things. I know people got the MCQ wrong, the true or false questions, which are just theory, which is already there in your study material. But to be honest, the long questions, most students did very well. Just few students who really missed it. And some, I understand, their first attempt was technical issues. Second attempt, I mean, we had students who got 190, 95% in the assessment. So we know this, you guys are not in a bad, you will be fine. So thank you. In the absence of questions, before we reach 4 o'clock, so we can continue with we still have 1,000 emails to respond to, guys. Thank you very much and have a lovely day. Bye.
Bye. See you on Monday and Tuesday. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, bye.